What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? Coming in on the live stream and on the VOD. Appreciate all you guys. We're gonna get started here in a few minutes. Hey, Josh, what's going on, man? First man in the stream. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hey, DK, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm doing good, Josh. How about yourself? Doing pretty good. Went out with the girlfriend yesterday, ate some good food. You know how it is. It's actually gonna be a very short stream today, guys. I have a lot of errands I gotta run IRL. We're probably gonna be streaming for less than an hour today, probably 30, 45 minutes. And then I gotta get out of here. So we're gonna do a quick update. I'm also gonna run through the write-up. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but I think it's gonna be a better use of time if I do it today. Look good in beta? What do you mean? In beta? What beta are you talking about? Hey Sebi, what's going on, man? Nice drop. Oh yeah, on Bitcoin, I know, man. I like it. I like it a lot. I didn't trade that, so I didn't make any money on that short. But it was a nice drop. I'm looking to buy the dips. I'm more in a buy the dip mentality right now than short the top. I called it out in Discord. I was talking about how it looked like a good. I talked about it on stream as well. Yeah, I've been in cash. Well, I've been in Bitcoin, which is basically my cash. Like I just hold Bitcoin when I'm not trading instead of holding cash. But yeah, I talked about it on stream. Talked about it on Discord. I liked that short. If you guys watched the stream on Thursday, I was talking about how you could have shorted that high. But I said I didn't want to take it because I could easily see it pumping to like 11,000, right? I could easily see like um, one more push to 11K before we start nuking, right? So I didn't want to take that short with really any big size, so we didn't take it. If I saw some really good momentum going on, like while I was at the PC, I probably would have taken the short. But once again, as you guys know, the same story the past 2 months. It nuked while I was sleeping, so DK, if I use order flow, I usually use exo charts. We use it on stream all the time. I can actually pull it up right here. Here's our screen, by the way, guys. We were talking about this sell pressure yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry, on Thursday. You had that sell pressure coming in on the 12-hour, and you could see how we kind of popped up and failed that sell pressure, and now we're pushing down right to that 12-hour pivot. So starting to bounce pretty nice. You do have a black bar on the OTS indicating a downtrend forming or a pullback. So you do have these pullbacks going on here. So we do have our first black bar on the OTS for quite some time. Hey, Chad, what's going on, man? Chad, I was just about to message you. I'm gonna do a quick recap of the write-up that we did. If you wanted to hop on stream and go over your section when I'm doing it, you can. I'm not sure if you're busy or not. I'm gonna ask Sticky as well, see what he's doing. Hey, Bogus, what's going on, man? You said sounds good. Usually the laptop. Oh yeah, the laptop audio. We were trying that last time. Yeah, we can give it a test. I'm gonna do that in like probably 5 or 10 minutes. You can't sleep, Sebi. But yeah, I can go over the exo charts. If I'm doing order flow type stuff, I usually use exo charts. They've been pretty solid lately on their order flow. Order flow is extremely bearish right now. Sorry, my mouse is really going bad. I still have the new mouse that I ordered like a month ago, 2 months ago. I just haven't stopped using the old one yet. I'm trying to get the last life out of this mouse before I switch over. But my mouse wheel's pretty fucked up, so you can see how it starts moving around like that. Yeah, you kind of see a Quasimodo order flow pattern coming in here. You have that low being established, the low broken, the low regained. So you do have a slight Quasimodo coming in. If you're able to hold this level around 98.80, you should be able to see a bottom start to form here. But you do have a lot of sell pressure coming in. You can see on the left and the right, the depth is getting definitely bearish. It's different than Exo, more visual. Yeah, I've seen a lot of different order flow programs. So far, Exo is my favorite. So I talked about this in Discord yesterday before I went to bed. I was talking about the Momo on 4 hour. It was looking like it was going to lose that top. It was getting very close to losing that top. And you lost that top, and then you started to nuke downward. You had that pivot failure. You broke the trail. Trails flipped red. You also broke that level. Kind of a swing failure there on that high. But we're definitely bearish here. You have that nice little pullback coming in. You can see that rounded top coming in as well. So even if we pulled back here, if you started to fail downward, you could short this kind of pullback here. But like I said, I'm kind of in the mentality to buy dips. I told you guys on stream that I didn't want to buy here because it hasn't grabbed any of this liquidity. And I wanted to see at least one of these levels grabbed. So we are seeing a grab of this level here, which is good. So now you could buy this dip here. Or you could wait for confirmation, kind of a break of the high or kind of a regain of that level. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. If this starts to retrace here, I think I'm going to look more towards kind of the pivot, more towards that trail. If we start to see kind of a strong price rise above these levels, I'll probably start to build long-term positions on my long side. If we continue downward, I'm probably going to start to look to buy the lower liquidity grabs. So looking for these lower levels, obviously. But as it goes on, my thesis could definitely change. But that's what I'm looking at currently. You can see the momentum on the Momo is starting to curl downward. You have that loss of momentum on that high, and you are starting to see that pullback in price. Weekly also not looking too good. You have a weekly nice little top wick here coming in above these kind of levels. So if you did take this kind of doji that we saw here on the weekly, you're getting kind of a swing failure. You broke above it, and now you're failing below it. So definitely not a pretty candle on the weekly for the bulls. We are still maintaining above these very strong support levels. So you could kind of pull this one out all the way back here. And you can see we're still maintaining above that level. So you are slightly bullish on that regard, which is one of the levels that I'm watching, obviously. For the pullback, I would like to see kind of a bounce of the trail, maybe a bounce of these lower supports, But that's my main area that I'm watching is that daily trail on the OTS. Yeah, I'll take a look at it, DK, when I get some time. Hey, Cash, what's going on, man? What time is it? 3:15. I'm probably going to be into the stream up here in like 30, 35 minutes. It's going to be a short stream today. If you guys want me to run through anything, just feel free to put it in chat and we'll go over it. Ethereum, same thing basically as Bitcoin. You're kind of seeing that rounded top coming off. You had that pivot failure. It's much cleaner on Ethereum though. We were watching that 290.75 level and we missed it by what? Probably a dollar. About a dollar. We missed it on the high there. And we failed downward. You see that pivot come in. Nice little failure at the top. Retrace. Test of the pivot there. Failure downward. And then look at where we bounced. We bounced right off that blue pivot. Right off that support. And now we're actually putting in a second blue pivot on that same level. So very strong level coming in here on 262. So pay attention to that level. I think everyone's watching 95.50 areas, so we either probably overshoot or front run. 95.50, I can take a look at it. Where's 95.50? Yeah, that same kind of level. I agree with you. I think a lot of people are paying attention to that level. We have a pivot right on that level. That's also that weekly level that I just marked out. That weekly low that turned into a high, that SR flip. I think a lot of people are watching that level. But that's a weekly level, so even though a lot of people are watching it, it's still very, very strong. It's kind of like when people were watching, I think it was... Where was it? I think it was here. People were watching that like 6,600, 6,800. They thought it was going to be a lot of resistance, and then it actually ended up just blowing right through it. That's kind of a similar scenario. The problem I have with buying this level here is it's not a very big retrace. After we've already had a... what is that, 65%? Yeah, about 65% move. Buying this dip here is only about a 10% retrace, so that's not a very strong retrace for a major move like this. And like we can pull up Fibonacci to show what I'm saying here. I feel like if I wanted to be a very, very long-term buyer, if I wanted to look for a very high risk, well, not high risk, but a very high probability setup, very strong setup, I would look for kind of these levels down here. Now you could buy like the soft pullback around the 382, around the 9,000 level. This level would be more like the 236. I typically don't buy the 236 pullback if I'm trading Fibonacci. I can show you kind of where that is here. Do I have that one marked? Grab this one, make it not negative. Yep, almost exactly where I marked. So this would be like the 236 pullback. A lot of people like to buy that pullback in very strong uptrends, but I typically don't like that level. So for example, like if we pull this back to the high here, this little dip here wasn't even a 236, then he popped up. Let's pull it back to this one here. This one was a 236. That 236 pullback, and then he popped up. So the 236 pullback can definitely be profitable in very strong uptrends. But when you have these very long kind of like long extensions of price where you don't really see major pullbacks, you're just kind of seeing a very strong uptrend. If you didn't buy like the strong pullbacks on the way up, it's already becoming like extended, you know what I mean? It's been going on for so long that buying a soft pullback here would be very risky. Buying a deep pullback here would be actually a very strong move, because as long as this holds like the 618 to the 50, even though that's a major pullback, you're pulling back 50 to 60%. In my opinion, when I trade Fibonacci, as long as it holds that buy zone, you're still maintaining an uptrend. So your uptrend is definitely weakening. You're definitely weakening into kind of a short-term pullback. But as a long-term trend goes, like from the bottom here, as long as it holds this level, that's still putting in a higher low. You see what I mean? So as long as you hold that kind of that Fibonacci buy zone there, you're still okay long term. Hey Patrick, what's going on, man? More downside for Bitcoin? It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. Like I was saying, it's bouncing off some support here. So if the trend is very strong, if the bulls are very strong, they will definitely bounce it here and continue higher. But with that said, I don't like buying this dip. I don't like buying this dip. I would wait for some confirmation because the dip is so shallow. And then if you want to buy a deeper dip, I think that's a better play. I would not mind buying this dip. I would not mind buying this dip. This dip, like I said on stream on Thursday, it's not that bad, but it's a little early, so you want to wait for some confirmation. Another problem is that 12-hour sell pressure that we were marking out on this chart here. Another problem with this is you could take this trade, so you could look for this bounce like from pivot to sell pressure. Very nice trade, 6-7%, right? But I wouldn't be too bullish here, because if this bounces, this is a lot of sell pressure here that it has to get through. So until it kind of flips this level, I'd be very careful watching for kind of that double top or maybe even like a swing failure. So if you buy this dip with a lot of leverage or big size, I would really pay attention to kind of this resistance up here around 10.4, 10.5. A 10% retrace is similar to the other ones we had during the run up to the past 2 months. Yeah, I showed that on stream, the little pullbacks that we had. But now that's okay, like when the trend is starting, right? So when you see that kind of reversal, that's okay to buy those pullbacks in like the start of a massive trend shift, right? But since we're so far into this trend, a good way to show this is linear regression. So let me show this. So a good way to show this is take a linear regression, right? This is a 96 R, which is very, very good. Very, very strong linear regression. Let me close all this other stuff. So what we can do here, let's grab this and let's extend the lines. So for this to be like a safe buy, to buy like the 10% retrace, it would have to continue this trend, right? This regression. That I don't see this continuing like this for that long. You see how steep this curve is? It's a very steep curve. I don't see it continuing this for much longer. So buying these 10% pullbacks, it's a little risky. Now we could take a linear regression from the high here to the low, and we see kind of a similar thing. We have a 93R. And then you had those kind of shallow pullbacks, and you had those really deep pullbacks. This is about as perfect as a V reversal as you're going to get. Looking at these R's, 92, 96, this is about as perfect as you're going to get. Hey, no problem, Ched. I'm probably going to go over it on stream here, and then we'll do like a further recap tomorrow. But yeah, so on the start of this trend, it would have been okay to buy these pullbacks, but towards the end of the trend, a little scary. And as we can see on the OTS, look at the difference in candles. You see all these fake outs here on the candles. If you're using the OTS, there's no fake outs. You've been white since the bottom. You had one gray candle there that got bought up. Same thing on the weekly. The weekly's been white all the way up, basically. You had one gray pullback. Looks like we are starting to pull back kind of like this. Or we might have a gray candle come in. You can see how deep the pullbacks were on the 4 hour. No problem, Patrick. Soldier said, "What confirmation do you have that it's the end of the trend?" Oh, I'm not saying it's the end of the trend. I'm saying that the trend has been going on for so long that buying soft pullbacks is risky. The only thing that shows that the trend is weakening is the sell pressure. Massive sell pressure being rejected, and you have an OTS black bar. So we've had OTS black bars here and here that ended up being pullbacks of the trend. We don't have confirmation yet. For confirmation, the trail would have to flip red, and then your black bars continue downward, and then your trail follows price. That's your confirmation. There is no confirmation right now. Weakening trend on sell pressure, and then you have the black bars coming in. Now, a daily black bar would be kind of an indication that the trend is failing. You can see how the daily black bars come in, and then we nuke price, right? Sloth said I shorted 287 Ethereum. You have ads at the same level. 287 Ethereum. Not bad, dude. Look at how parabolic Ethereum is. Really, really sad I missed this trade. It's definitely going to haunt me. We predicted this trade nearly 2 months in advance, and we missed it. It's probably my worst missed trade of the year. Or consider it the best, whichever way you look at it. But it's definitely a horrible missed trade. Oh wow, I didn't see that. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's that level we were talking about. This is where I was looking to short Ethereum. I had an alert set on this level. I should have set my alerts probably earlier. It didn't hit this level. Exactly. Soldier said, I'm looking to buy 9.5 to exit at 10.4. If we put in a double top there, then we probably break 9.5 on the attempt. Yeah. Let's see. Floss said, I just saw it. Went up too fast. Yeah. It's definitely in a parabolic rise for sure. He said, so my position won't be held for too long. That makes sense. Yeah, man, we predicted this bull div. I said I was gonna buy it here. Got a little greedy, I didn't buy it. And then boom. Big mistake on my part. No excuses for that. It's a terrible trade. Got greedy and I paid the price. You know, I'm gonna leave this Fibonacci up here. All right, so let me pull up the write-up, and we're gonna go over some of the write-up that we did last week. We have a new write-up coming out on Sunday, so if you guys are in the Discord, make sure you're paying attention to Discord. We're gonna release a new write-up tomorrow, probably around 5 p.m. Eastern. But let me go ahead and pull this up here. Grab this here. So this is our write-up that we did last week. Now, obviously, this is our first ever write-up. So if you guys have any feedback, if you guys have any questions or comments, concerns, whatever, definitely let us know. We're going to be improving these, obviously, every week. We're thinking about... So let me just show you this, and then I'll tell you what we're thinking about. But yeah, so this is summary of markets week 1, February 9th, 2020. So that was last Sunday. Small little introduction, obviously. And then what we covered last week, we covered SPY, GameStop for equities. For commodities, we covered gold, oil. And for crypto, we covered Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Algo. So every Sunday, we're always going to cover SPY. We're always going to cover Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then everything else, like gold, oil, all this other Algo, GameStop, we're going to add on little things that we're watching every week as an additional write-up. But every single week, the constants are going to be the SPY, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. And maybe oil as well. So then we just go into our little write-ups about SPY and whatnot. So let's take a look at how these played out. So on SPY, let me hyperlink this. I was watching this extension level. If we take that major pullback in the SPY from, what is that, late 2018, early 2019, you have that massive pullback. You can see these extension levels all the way up. You have all these sells and buys coming off these levels. And then your final target, typically when you're trading extensions, you want to see that 1618 would be your major breakout level, right? The 1618 was hit, you failed it, and then you bounced right off this low here on this kind of a double bottom off this support. And then we broke above the 1618. So we could see the price was starting to find resistance, right? Let me go back. How do I back this out? So I said you're currently forming a distribution pattern. And then I marked the highs and the lows. Until 33419 has been broken, my bias would be slightly bearish. So 33419. We can pull up a SPY here. See how it played out. So 33419 would have been the high right here. So basically, this was distributing. You had this high broken right there. And then boom, we're starting to take off again. So we're already up about 1% from that previous pullback. The SPY is just, it's kind of its own monster, right? Its own beast. This thing just keeps going up. And it's getting to a point where you really do not want to be shorting this thing. Unless you're looking for like short-term pullbacks. You really do not want to be on the wrong side of the SPY. The SPY has been obliterating shorts for a long time now. So definitely not looking to short SPY anytime soon. I marked out a few little charts here. You were attempting to flip the pivot. Trail below would be a nice support for a dip buy. You never got to the trail. You broke that high. Short-term and long-term Momo were climbing, so that momentum came in, pushed above the 334 level. See what my mouse is doing? I'm trying to scroll down. My mouse scrolls up. Sticky also did some analysis on the SPY, looking at the pullback to the cloud. He was saying you wouldn't be trying to call tops on the SPY, nor does it look bearish short term until we lose the 4-hour Kumo, which we never did. So Sticky was Basically saying, as long as you don't lose the 4-hour cloud, you want to be maintaining your longs. And you saw the breakout there afterwards. Now, I'm not going to go over all of these, but I'm just showing you guys kind of... This mouse is really driving me crazy. Just showing you guys what we're doing. Here's a couple of Ched's charts. He was looking for a pullback to the EMA if you were bullish, or sorry, bearish here. This mouse is not cooperating with me. Sticky, great play on GameStop here. He was looking at the bounce of this buy zone here around 353.90 on the pullback to the 2019 yearly low. He's basically saying you could buy this zone down here, look for a invalidation below the 2019 low, and then look for a pullback to that gap of 2019. And you have that gap all the way up to like 540. And I'll show you what happened at GameStop here. So you started to bounce off GameStop beautifully, but then you hit that trail and it started nuking downward. So it was a beautiful play, playing out nicely, and then we rejected that trail. So we are coming back down on GameStop, but it did bounce basically off that pivot pretty much perfectly. Then we go into gold and whatnot. Like I said, I'm not going to go over all of these. Just showing you guys kind of the overall outlook of what we were doing. If you guys want to take a look at this write-up, we posted it in our free Telegram. So if you guys want to go through it yourselves. I'm also going to post it on Twitter probably later today. So if you guys want to look through the PDF on there as well. Let's actually skip this and go to the Ethereum or Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis. So what I said for Bitcoin on the write-up, I was saying we saw a major breakout. You went over 10K. The bulls are basically buying up everything. You had a resistance coming in on the OTS pivot, which I'll pull up here in a second. I said if you're still long, the daily point of origin around 10.577 would be a nice target. You can see the point of origin here and the point of origin here. We started to fail this one, and then we were looking for this point of origin around 10.577, which we almost got. I think it was just barely below it. Yeah, we missed it by $27. So 10.550 was that high. We were looking for 10.577. So we missed it by $27. You can see that point of origin right there. And I also said to look for that 9.555 and then 9.358 level for a pullback, which we have not tested just yet. And then Sticky also went into the gap fill. He was talking about how this gap fill would be a nice little target, which it actually played out perfectly right after he posted this. The gap got filled damn near instantly. We can look at that as well. That was the gap right... Where was it? February... It was this one, I believe. Yep, this one right here. This gap got instantly filled, basically. Then Ched was also talking about these upper levels here, that he would like to see 10K hold. Looking for the 4-hour... give a further run on the 4-hour bear div. Could easily break that level. If it breaks, he was looking at 9,900, which played out beautifully. He's also keeping his eye on the bear div playing out, not rolling on a retrace to the 95.20 area. Basically what we were talking about as well. This level up here that he was talking about, it easily got taken. Bear trap played out just as he expected. The bear div turned into a bear trap. He was watching for this 10.458 level. Beautifully played. Then we have our Ethereum analysis here. Ethereum was playing out the weekly bull dip that we talked about, obviously. For pullbacks, I was looking for the pivots. This played out perfectly. Let me show you this pivot bounce here. 218.45 on Ethereum. Watch this. I have these marked on one of my charts. Where is it? Was it a 4-hour pivot? What level was that? It was a daily pivot. It was this one right here. We were talking about that pivot pullback. It pulled back to that pivot beautifully. Bounced off it almost to the dollar. And then it gave us a... It gave us a... What is that? 33% bounce? Ridiculous. 33% bounce there off that pivot. Absolutely ridiculous. This also played out beautifully. We had that bear div coming in on the 4-hour, which pulled it back right to that pivot. And then we saw the breakout afterwards. Same thing for Chet. He was looking for a small pullback on Ethereum. He was watching the same thing, that bear div on the 4-hour Momo. Played out beautifully. Algo, Sticky called out Algo, which played out greatly as well. This was Algo USD, not BTC. It was breaking out of this massive accumulation here. You can see that pivot coming in, holding the lows, and you were breaking out of the highs of the accumulation there. He's looking for a long-term play all the way up to this previous pivot, around 74 cents. And it broke out pretty strongly here. I could show you. He was looking for, what was he looking for? 74 cents on the long term. This bounced all the way up to 43 already. Came back down for a small pullback so far. But yeah, look at this. Basically, right after he posted this, 33 cents, this thing ran all the way up to 42. About a 25% gain. Pulling back now. But that's it, guys. So that's a recap of the write-up that we did last week. We're going to be doing a new write-up on Bitcoin, Ethereum, SPY, and then probably a few extra add-ons tomorrow. So if you guys have anything, like any feedback, anything you'd like to see in the write-ups, or anything you think we could do better, feel free to let us know in Discord, obviously. The write-ups are going to be in the Discord until like Friday. And then we're going to release them to the public, obviously, once they've played out. So they're going to be posted live Sunday around 5 p.m. And then once the Friday comes up the next week, we're going to post them in the Telegram and then post them on Twitter as well. Cash, he said, so my position won't... Oh, no, I already read that. He said, where would you put an invalidation level for the 955 entry? He said 93.70 for you. So you're saying, like, if you buy that and then it starts going down? So I'd give it some room, really. I'd give it some room because you have, like, this pivot right here, which acted as that high. But then you also have that low right there, that liquidity that's waiting to be grabbed. So what you could do is you could kind of nuke below this and grab that liquidity and then still retrace upward. You have to be careful here. This is a dangerous level. Even though it's a really strong level, it's a dangerous level. Very, very dangerous. So you have to be careful, just like putting your entire load on that level. Like if you're just buying that level flat out, it's a little risky. But yeah, I'd say invalidation is if we don't use this level as support, the liquidity. But like if we grab that liquidity and it starts to fail downward, I'd say you're very bearish. But if you can wick this level here, I think it looks really good. Basically, any wick of this level that starts to retrace and find support, this is very bullish to me. The only problem is you could start to range kind of between the pivot and that low, and then this becomes bearish. You don't want it to range for too long. Like if it grabs this and then it starts to range here, you really want it to regain that pivot as soon as possible. If you fail to regain that pivot, it's not looking too good. Uh, 1.5 risk on my account for that trade with a stop. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. He said I'll look for lower entries, 89, 83. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good idea. But all right, guys, I gotta get going. I got a lot of shit I gotta do outside of trading today. Got a lot of errands I gotta run. What am I missing here? Oh yeah, so on Twitter, guys, we're 30 followers away from hitting 1,000. I said once my Twitter and my YouTube hit 1,000, we were going to be giving away access to the Oasis trading group. So 30 more followers on Twitter. Once it hits 1,000, I'm going to be giving away access to one person to the Oasis trading group. So make sure to check out my Twitter, like that tweet that I posted. Just make sure to be following me and Sticky, and you'll be entered in the giveaway as soon as we hit 1,000. What else do we got going on? We have 3 days left on our discount. So if you guys want to get involved in the Discord, use code Valentine's. You get 20% off the Discord, and we also give you an extra invite code for a friend. So if you and a friend want to split the cost or whatever, you can do that. If you guys have any questions about the Discord, what we offer, or anything going on, feel free to message me. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. We're going to be posting a new summary of markets right up tomorrow in the Discord around 5 p.m. Eastern, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. We have an extra analyst joining us tomorrow as well. Paradigm's going to be joining us, so we're going to have 4 analysts. So it's going to be a very hefty write-up. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. What else do we have? That's basically it, guys. That's all I got for you. I'll be streaming tomorrow around 6 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys stopping by for our short stream. Appreciate you guys watching the VOD as well on YouTube. Make sure to hit that follow button on Twitch. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you like the content. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you need me, hit me up in Discord. You guys have a good day. See you later, guys.